So today we're going to be talking about the large intestine with rectum and anus, which is part of the GI tract.
So for the anatomy, it's made up of the large intestine, rectum, and anal canal. And the large intestine is made up of the cecum, the appendix, which we'll talk about later, and the colon, which is made of the ascending colon, transverse colon, and descending colon, as well as the sigmoid colon, which is where cancer is usually detected. And this frames the small intestine and has a diameter of 7 centimeters, which is greater than that of the small intestine. It's actually shorter than the small intestine, but its larger diameter is why we call it the large intestine. We'll also be talking about the rectum, which runs in front of the sacrum in the upright position, allows us to examine organs. It also has 3 lateral curves known as rectal valves. And we'll also talk about the anal canal and the anus, which is the last part of the large intestine and is about 3 centimeters long. It also has 2 sphincters, one internal, which is involuntary, and one external, which is voluntary, which we'll talk about later.
The large intestine uses chemical digestion to break down fiber, absorb water from indigestible food residues, and eliminate them from the body as semi-solid feces, but the main function is propulsion of fecal matter towards the anus and defecation of it.
What is delivered to the large intestine has few nutrients left, but still has about 12 to 24 hours left to spend there. In order for chemical digestion to occur, the large intestine has to maintain a population of over 500 species of bacteria to maintain gut health. Gut bacteria, probiotics, help us break down fiber which is otherwise indigestible. This creates fatty acids and nutrients that our cells can absorb.
The large intestine absorbs nutrients via diffusion. It absorbs most remaining water and electrolytes from indigestible food residues.
The large intestine also undergoes a process of defecation. This is only done by the large intestine and eliminates indigestible substances. Movement of large intestine, also known as haustral contractions, occur every 30 minutes to push food residue. These movements are slow but mix the food residue, aiding in water absorption. If water is not removed, it will result in diarrhea. Once the feces are forced into the rectum by the mass movements, it stretches the rectal wall, causing the defecation reflex. This causes the sigmoid colon and rectum to contract and the anal sphincters to relax, which we mentioned earlier, forcing feces to travel into the anal canal. Messages then reach the brain for us to decide whether the sphincters should be opened or closed. This process repeats until you go to the bathroom or the urge becomes unavoidable. Muscles of the rectum contract to expel the feces via the anus. This can be aided by contracting the abdominal and diaphragm walls.